Everyone, welcome to my first cooking stream. I'm gonna make pörkölt, the traditional Hungarian pörkölt with a nokedli as a side dish. I hope you will enjoy and it will be able to follow. If you have any comments or questions, please leave it in the comments down below. And I'm gonna also leave the recipe and the ingredients in the description and also add some extra tips if you want to do it a bit different. So let's get cooking, right? Okay. Thank you. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is adjust the camera uh, because you guys will need to see what I'm doing, right? Um, so this is, I plan to use multiple cameras. Well, that's not gonna work now. So let's do it this way. So I always use one onion, usually yellow onion. We don't have that now. Yellow onion is actually vöröshagyma, red onion in Hungarian, because we think it's red, other people think it's yellow, so it's a bit funny. But this is not that big of an onion. I think I could maybe use. We like onion, right, Ross? I want to use two. So I always have a bowl here where I put the trash, and my trash man is my husband, so he will take everything down, right? He's a cleanup guy. So you take, I usually take a bigger onion. Yeah, usually we also use yellow, but this was we were able to buy it for a cheaper price, so we like to buy it in bulk. So I usually use a bit bigger head, that's why I'm using two now. But if you have a bit bigger one, or you don't like onions that much, that's also good. You can also use onion cream. I know people who are ill when they use onions. There are things, this is Hungarian, but this is basically yellow onion cream. My mom likes this a lot. And then you can replace onions with this because it's milder on the stomach. I also like to add a little bit of garlic in my pörkölt because I love garlic. So I will be also adding, I think, 2 cloves. I know not everybody likes to do that, but the girl likes some garlic. So the ratio, I would say, for about 500 grams of meat or vegetable, it doesn't. That's why I needed 2 camera because now you guys cannot see my face. So if you use 500 grams of meat or mushrooms or whatever veg, you can make it this from green peas. You can make a lot of different pörkölt. I use one bit bigger head of onion than this. That's why I'm using 2 now. And about 2 cloves of garlic. If you don't like garlic, you can totally leave this out. I know other families don't do it. And I don't even know how much meat I'm using because I'm not professional. Okay. We do need 2 onions. We are making it with chicken legs. So I'm gonna peel and dice the onions. And I'm gonna saute them. That's the plan at least. Just thinking of maybe this bowl I put here is actually too small. Okay. So this is gonna be the boring part of cutting the onion. But somebody has to do it, right? You peel it. You don't need the extra layer here. I'm gonna dice everything before I start heating up the oil because I'm still gonna do some extra stuff after it. So I'm gonna deal with that first. I like to have everything prepared. Yeah, I'm lucky that Lars is not sick of onions or garlic because I love them. When I cook for my mom or for my family, they have a weaker stomach, so there I can't do the same. Okay. I'm also not gonna use the what is the LCVO in English? The thing uh, that helps with the smells. I'm not gonna turn it on so you guys can actually hear me. I feel like that helps. I don't like this hand. Okay. Come. Yeah. I love cooking. If you want a better angle, please let me know. I'm trying to reach it at the same time while I do this. I do have an onion slicer, but for two small onions, it's just too much hassle to actually cut it. Cut it. Oops. To uh, wash it. So unless I'm making a huge portion of something, I usually don't use it. It's faster to do it this way. Okay. So we're gonna saute these onions. I'm trying to cut them about, well, not equal, but kind of like diced small, so they will saute faster. Now, all the people who already prepared for this. Yeah, well, believe me, I'm 29. I've cut many, many onions because 95% of the Hungarian dishes that are not sweet start with sauteing onions, adding pepper, salt, and paprika powder. Uh, so you have to, if you want to make goulash, which is a Hungarian soup, not a stew, because a lot of people in the West think it's a stew. It's not a stew, it's a soup. Also start with this. So we also have one of these things, by the way. This is also what is this called? I don't know it in English. Contain. This is also one that has the whole goulash soup recipe on it. This is in Dutch. Well, goulash is basically the way I know it, at least, is you make a pörkölt, but you add also a lot more water and a bit more veggies. So you can add potatoes to it and carrots. But the base is kind of the same. We will try to make this into a sauce, so I will try not to add too much water. If you are working with vegetables, you don't even need to add a lot of work. And by vegetables, I mean meat substitute or adding vegetables next to the meat. Okay. I'm gonna start by changing this pot because I think this is gonna be too small. We are working with chicken legs here. So I think I'm gonna probably use, is this bigger? No, this is definitely not bigger. Maybe they will fit. Let me get out my legs. Well, I think they will fit. Okay. So I'm gonna work with chicken legs, so I have to make sure this actually fits in there. So what I'm gonna do is add a little bit of oil if I find the oil, which I think we have used up, because we fried stuff this week. So I'm just gonna live with some olive oil. It's not the best oil to use. It's gonna do the trick. Yeah, I didn't check. So I added a bit of olive oil. You don't have to do much, just enough to saute the onions. I'm gonna start on a medium heat, like 5. And what I do, I usually put a piece of onion in there, so I know when it's warm, when it starts boiling. Better than Gordon Ramsay. Oh my god, I'm much rather want Gordon Ramsay to see my video and be like, oh my god, what is she doing? Okay, Soga Sivo, ex-traitor fan. Okay. Okay, so while the oil is heating up, I'm gonna prepare and just dice this garlic. I'm gonna peel it. See all the onion here. So I'm gonna put first this onion in to saute, and a little bit later for the garlic, because I think that cooks a bit faster. So I just have to peel this. If I would fillet the meat, I would not put this already on, but I'm only gonna cut the meat in two, because we don't mind the bone in it. So then it's okay. If you are working with boneless meat, you should cut it to about bite-size pieces, like cubicles, cubic shape, basically. It doesn't have to be perfect shape. It doesn't matter. Oh, come on. Okay. The same goes for mushrooms. A very good meat substitute in this recipe is mushrooms. It's also a very common one to use mushrooms. You can also crush the garlic. I'm lazy. Well, technically I could. No, I need a bigger knife for that, but okay. Just gonna cut it very small. Don't cut your fingers, guys. That has never happened to me. I've never cut my fingers while slicing stuff. I'm happy about that. Okay, the onion is still not going. Yes, make sure you have enough oil. I usually use sunflower oil. That's my favorite to cook with. That also gives the best. If you make schnitzel, fried chicken with breadcrumbs, rántott hús, make sure you have a ton. Yeah, I think we should add that quote. Rita, hozzá tudnád adni azt a quote-ot, amit Gigi Allin adott, a Lord Blendi-et? Felkiáltójel quote, szó köz add, szó köz a quote. És esetleg a nevét írd bele. Mint mód, te ezt meg tudod tenni. Okay. So the onion is already good. I'm still gonna slice this, and I'm gonna adjust the camera. Please. Okay, I'm gonna use a pot now. I'm gonna just adjust the camera first, so you can see what I am doing. Not that way. Yeah. True that, Aggie. Okay, So, you can see that onion is already a bit boiling. I can already smell it cooking. So you don't need a lot of heat for this dish. So the more ingredients you add, the more you should take down the heat. I went now from 4.5 to 5.5 to 4. This is my usual Pörkölt one because it's already super red. I think I do need a bit more oil. We are really do not have a lot of oil here, so that sucks. So usually use sunflower oil, that gives the best taste. And you are just sauteing them. We call it Veggies, which means you saute them until they are glass, so they are basically transparent. We add a bit of salt. You're still gonna salt the meat. This is per taste. I'm kind of guessing what I'm doing here. And a bit of pepper. I'm not a fan of pepper, so I usually use less, but Lars likes it, so. And you definitely don't add yet the garlic. You let this cook a little bit. In the meantime, you can still kind of see what I'm doing here. That's good. I'm gonna take off my rings, Rita, because I'm gonna be touching meat. So I'm gonna put this to the side. I will also need to open more red paprika powder. Because the main ingredient in all the dishes is using red paprika powder, and I'm almost out of the plain one. So I'm just gonna open this, and my goal is to take this apart. So this is chicken leg. If you don't like to watch this, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna take the thigh out of the drumstick. Usually there is a bone, there's a joint I can cut through if I feel it this right. Should I make a video once on how to debone a chicken? Okay. Yeah. I'm only doing it, you don't have to do this, but done. It doesn't really fit in my pan if I do it in one big piece, so I'm gonna take them just two apart. If you want to, you can fillet it. We don't care that the meat is in there. So all you have to do is basically find a joint and you will be able to cut it or break it. Where are you? That's good. Okay. Always make sure you wash your hand because you are touching raw meat. Okay. You can also buy it boneless, and I think in most of the butchers, if you want, they will give it to you boneless. I don't mind. It is cheaper actually to buy a full chicken, and then deal with this, but I don't care. I wish I had a dog I could give bones to. Although, if this bones has like air bubbles in it, then it's not good for the dog. I don't know if chicken is one of those. So this is nicely sauteed now. Still going, so we are still waiting. I'll check if we have any more oil. We made potato donuts, Funk, a couple of days ago. So, and to properly fry things, you need a lot of oil. So you need like a layer of oil, and the meat is kind of swimming in it, otherwise it's gonna burn down. Yeah. We also use a lot of chicken breast, but chicken thigh has a better flavor, a stronger flavor. But I try to eat only poultry, mainly turkey or chicken. Uh, and also, poultry cooks way faster. I don't know why, maybe Aggie knows this, but if you make a meat soup or a pörkölt from beef, it cooks like 2 hours until it gets soft. Pork is not that worse, but this one cooks very fast, especially if you don't have the bone in it. So this will take about 45 minutes an hour, I think, about. So I was looking for oil. Uh, well, what's definitely not the one we need. We have walnut oil. That's fish sauce. That's vinegar. Uh, what's this? Sesame oil. I'm gonna use sesame oil. Well, this is gonna be interesting because I need a bit more oil. Uh, uh, yeah, this is dry. So usually you don't use sesame oil, but I'm experimenting because I forgot to buy oil because I thought we had more, but we don't. So texture is different. Okay, okay. So I'm gonna add now the garlic, and soon I'm gonna add the meat. And I also need to measure some water out. So both the meat and if you would use veggies, add water, release water. So if you do this with mushrooms only, do not add any extra water to it. You don't need it because mushrooms hold a lot of water. If you use paprika or tomatoes next to the meat, same thing. Ez jó ötlet, Évi, vaj egyébként van. A nokedlibe akarok egy picit tenni a vízbe. De margarin van, akkor adok egy kis margarint hozzá. Köszönöm, ez egyébként nem jutott eszembe. Vajat azt nem tartunk itthon. Yeah, that's my sister, Avi. She said I could just add a bit of butter. Well, margarine. We don't have butter at home. To make sure this doesn't burn down. Is that something you do not want? It's actually good. And that's we have plenty of, so that's okay. Azért adunk margarint, mert nincs elég olaj itthon. Mert elfelejtettünk venni. So I'm only doing this because I don't have enough oil. And this is getting a bit dry in the pan. Igen, tehát sesame oil would be like the last case. I definitely need some oil to put into the water of the nokedli so they don't stick together. Although even if they stick together, it doesn't matter that much. Yeah. Okay, so I think these onions are sautéed already. They look nice. So I'm gonna add the meat now. 1, 2, 3, 4. I wash my hand. So if you add meat, you should make sure you just cook it a little bit. So if you have cubicles of meat, that the sides. Good morning, Nomi. That the sides are white. What I'm gonna do now, I'm just cook it a little bit so I see that uh, the skin will be a bit cooked. I will reduce the heat soon and add paprika powder. If you put paprika powder in too high heat, it will burn down and it will taste horrible. So be careful with the heat. And I'm gonna add some salt on this because I have not salted the meat yet. About pepper up to taste. I do a bit of pepper because I don't like it. Okay. Don't forget to clean your surfaces while that's doing its stuff. So I'm lucky to have a dishwasher, so I'm gonna load that now. And my sister is a way better cook than I am. Évi sokkal jobb szakács, mint én. Úgyhogy ráhallgatok. Oh, the trash is full, so Lars will have to deal with this when he wakes up. That's nice, Rita. She got an electric pepper grinder. Okay. Let's see. You can see the color changing on this. When the color changed a bit on the skin of the chicken or the outside of the meat cubes you are using, it turns a bit white. Or you can see that the mushroom you added as a meat substitute a little bit falls apart, gets smaller. That's the part where I will add the paprika powder and reduce the heat. Let's see. Come on. You can use spicy paprika powder if you want. I don't eat spicy food, so I don't use it. I use plenty of paprika powder because I love it so much. I'm gonna stir this around. So make sure all the sides get some. Come on. You can also use, I don't know if Vard is watching this, he's one of my colleagues. He gave me uh, Spanish paprika powder, which is a bit smoky. So that is also very nice. I usually do it 2-to-1 ratio, so 2 sweet and 1 smoky. It's not the original flavor for Pörkölt to be smoky, but it tastes very good. True that, Avi, true that. Okay, my headphone just turned off. I hope you can still hear me. So I think this is cooked enough now. So this would be the moment where you add tomato and paprika diced, if you have some. I don't like to do that, so I just use a bit of water. You don't need a lot, because the meat will still release some. If you have a lot, to be honest, it doesn't matter. It will be just a bit more juicy, but the taste will still be there. You reduce the heat. You put on a lid. That's big enough. And you wait half an hour and check it. I'll set a timer for it. So we'll check this in half an hour. Okay, so I'm gonna clean a bit because I will refill this first. All this fitting here. Might as well do that, right? So if you do this with mushroom, it cooks quite fast. I would say this will take about 45 minutes. Come on. Open, please. Don't ask a lot from you, just open a few. Okay. So Vart, if you are watching, then if you use sour cream later, so if you want to make your pörkölt into paprika, which means the sauce is thickened with sour cream or taifal in Hungarian, do not use the smoky paprika powder because it doesn't go well taste-wise with sour cream. That's the only thing I wanted to add. Okay. We also have this dish called hortobágyi pancake, which is one of the regions in Hungary, Hortobágy, where you use this meat stew, mix it with sour cream. I usually grind it. You can also cut it into small pieces, and you fill a savory pancake with it. And it's super nice. See ya, Odeska. I think you are Audrey's mother, right? If I remember. So I'm just cleaning now. Clean the surface, and we're gonna start making the nokedli, which I usually don't do nokedlis often. So let me just wipe this a bit. Wash my hands. So for the nokedli, you will need salt, egg, flour, and water. And in the cooking water, we'll put, if you have oil, unlike because I forgot to buy oil, because I'm a professional cooking streamer, of course. So I'm gonna eyeball this. The oil in the water is only meant there so the small dumplings you are making, they don't stick together. So we're just gonna leave them sticking together. So I need salt. I need flour. So I think if you want a ratio about husbando woke up.
Waifu.
You wanna say hi to the stream?
Hello everyone.
Is my husband Lars? You wanna grind water?
Grind water, yeah.
Grind water. You wanna grind coffee now?
Yes. It's gonna make some noise.
Okay, I'm gonna mute the stream because he's going to use the electric grinder for the coffee, and I'm sure you guys don't want to hear that.
It's only half a minute.
Yeah. In the meantime, I'm just gonna take out some bowls, so you not gonna miss much. I also don't need this anymore. You have a lot of people in chat, Lars, now.
Right.
So that's nice.
This already smells great.
Hi, Uncle Stinky. Hi from Belgium. Yeah, we just put up I sauteed the onions, put the chicken in. I cut them in half. I didn't fillet them as we discussed. And added a bit of water. And now we are waiting for magic to happen in here. Okay, I will need a bowl. Let's make it into... I don't need that big of a bowl, but it looks nicer. This is a nicer bowl, so I'm gonna use this even though it's a bit too big. How much nokedli do you want leftovers from the nokedli?
No.
No. I'm gonna use a smaller bowl then. Okay. Guess we don't need that much. I'm gonna use 1 egg. So you don't need
ready to grind.
Okay, I'm gonna mute for a minute while Lars is grinding the coffee. Okay, can you guys hear us? We are back.
I can't hear anything. I'm dead now.
Sure, Lars. Sure, Lars. Also, don't forget to hydrate. It's important, even if you are cooking. Drink some water.
Or coffee.
Or coffee, whatever you want. I haven't had coffee yet today. I haven't had anything. I had a bit of bagel. Okay. You could make me a coffee. There is some made coffee already. Just mix it with a bit of all. Well, more almond milk, like half.
This?
Yeah, and add a droplet of one of them.
Half and then a droplet of.
Yeah. So I usually cold brew coffee because I don't like cooked coffee. It hurts my stomach. So I use cold water to make it, but it takes 24 hours. Okay, so Nokedli, right? We're gonna eyeball this. You don't need to make as beautiful dough as when you are making, let's say, any uh, desserts or something. It just has to be enough mixed, so it doesn't have to be beautiful. You don't want to get too watery, and you also don't want to get too thick. If you, yes, I do have. Wait, Nomi, I'm gonna show you. Look at that. There's Kevin. Lars, you can bark now. We have Kevin here.
Bark!
Uh, I also have. That's for you, Nomi. An overcook. This is a measuring cup. I use it just to store some instant vegan coffee. Uh, I cannot digest milk products for the people who don't know, so I'm that's why we have like almond milk and stuff here. Okay, I also have to start boiling some water, so I will have to readjust the camera to make sure we don't wait a lot for the water. What's the pan I should go for? I kinda wanna go for the big one because it fits more. So I'm gonna go for this one. So I'm just gonna boil water. Usually you should add some oil in it, but yeah, we are out of oil, so doesn't matter. I'm gonna add salt to the dough. I don't know if any of you actually add salt for the Nokedli water, because I feel like if you do that, then you should not add salt to the dough itself. So we're gonna cut the small pieces. I will show you how. It's not gonna be a big amount of dough, so I'm just gonna do everything in one go, then boil the whole thing once again. Thanks for the coffee, hon. Yeah. Thanks for using the new emote. Okay, I'm gonna put you guys a bit further away so I can use this. And I have to make sure the cable doesn't get cooked, because we don't want a cable to be cooked, right? Be a bit bad. Okay, that's about good. So I'm just gonna start to boil this. By the way, if you are cooking pasta or anything, Basically, I think if you just stir it, you don't even need to add oil to the water and they won't stick together, so maybe that's what I will do. This is just cooking here. So, I'm gonna use one egg. If you don't like the color of your egg, so it's not yellow enough, you can add a bit of curcuma. What is curcuma in English? Turmeric. I think turmeric. So I'm just gonna add one egg. I don't care about the color, I care about the taste, so I'm not gonna do that. It would be just a little bit. So really don't add much, so it only interferes the color. You have a bit of coffee. Because you talk a lot, like I do. Okay, so we have one egg in here that you can barely see. And you're gonna add water and flour, just enough so it makes a dough. And you make sure it's not too thick and it's not too liquidy. So if you are having one of these things, I have no idea what it's called in English. I think German is like spätzle, spätzle something. Nokedli szaggató in Hungarian, where you basically put the dough and then you scrape the dough around. It falls through into the water, so you just do this with the dough. Falls through into the water in the good size. If you don't have this, then you should make a bit thicker dough. And are you spying?
No, I'm following. It's just
Okay.
interesting.
Thank you. Then you can just use a cutting board, put the dough on top, and cut it in small pieces and put it in the water. I'm gonna show you both because I know 95% of you who are not Hungarian will not have that. But the consistency should be a bit different. If the dough is too thick, it will be pain to put it through that. So I do not recommend if you like a thicker dough. So you have to make it a bit more liquidy or like in medias res, just in a little bit in the middle, so it doesn't fall through like a soup, but it's not pain on your wrist to do it. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit of. I'm definitely gonna add salt in this, but first I'm gonna add a bit of flour, just eyeballing it. If you want measurement, I would say 3 eggs for about 500 grams of flour. That's what I would guess. So I add about 3 tablespoons. We have more eggs, so if I mess up, I will just make more. I will add a bit of salt to this. Okay. And I have some water ready. So I take a trusty spoon that I already have here. So this is how it looks now, and you just start gonna mixing it. You basically want to make this into a dough. Like grandmothers usually say, put enough flour in it so it like takes up everything. And sometimes when you make dough, you can feel that it takes more. It like needs more stuff. So I don't make this often, so this could be a disaster. That could happen anytime. So this is where I might fail this cooking stream. Okay. I don't feel like this will be enough for the 2 of us though. Évi, if you are still here. Évi, ha még itt vagy, ti 2 személyre 1 vagy 2 tojásból szoktál nokedlit csinálni? The consistency of the dough is nice. So it's not too thick, not too liquidy. You can kind of like toss it around. It doesn't have to be beautiful. You can see the color is not really yellow, so if you want, you can make it more yellow with the turmeric. I don't care. So, but But this doesn't seem like a lot of dough, so I think I might add another egg. Because I think this is not much. So I will add another egg. 4 tojásból 4 egg, okay. Akkor 2 tojás. I'm gonna add another egg because it doesn't seem like a lot that it would fill the both of us. And you do the same thing again. Okay, my sister says 2 eggs, so that's what I feel too. Ha hozzáadok még egyet, I always smell the egg to make sure it's still good. And we are back to the beginning of adding some extra. Hozzáadok még egy tojást, hogy legyen több. Bit of extra salt. This is by taste. One thing you can do is you make a small portion of your dough, you taste it, and if it's not salty enough, then you can still add some salt to the rest of the dough, so you don't end up with a huge batch of too much salt. Yeah, so my sister is saying poor people used to make it without eggs. Okay, so I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons. Mix it, and if it needs some water, I'm just gonna add some water. The water is still not boiling, so we still have some time for me to mix this around. So I think the consistency is already good. It's definitely too thick if I want to use that thing. I also feel like for me it's actually faster to do it all by hand. I'm still gonna add a bit of water to make it a bit more liquidy. Don't add too much water because you cannot take it away, then you have to add more of everything. So a bit more. Yeah, I think this is gonna be good for me now. Okay. Now we just wait till the water boils, and then we'll put it in there. I'm gonna eat this. Nobody needs that. Okay, so that's good. We are 20 minutes in with our meat. I don't think I need this anymore. Put this away. Usually with most of the dough things you boil, first the dough goes down to the bottom, and then when it comes up, you let it still cook a bit, and then it's done. If you make dumplings, yeah, I think this will be good. If not, I will just add some more to it. So, yeah. This is still not boiling. Come on. Should add the bowl where I will put these at the end. In the meantime, I can already do that. Okay. Are you having breakfast here? It's almost lunchtime. Okay, still like half an hour, 45 minutes, but. Oh, in the meantime, we can take a look at that. It smells very good. Yeah, I added a little bit too much water. I can already see that. That's okay. It's not a big issue. You can leave it just a little bit also without the. It smells very good. You can also cook it at the end a little bit without the lid on. But I think it will still need more. Because it's hard to guess how much liquid the meat will give. So that's good. I see small bubbles, but it's not there yet. Alright. Igen, az elszívó most nem megy, de még nincs kész a hús, mert ez szerintem nem fog annyira gyorsan megsülni. Majd az utolsó 10 percre kicsit leveszem. Mert rajtam van a csonton van a hús, úgyhogy egy kicsit több idő lesz szerintem, mire megfő, mint a kockázott hús. Okay. We're just waiting for the water to boil. Not too exciting. I think this will be good now to use that thing. Let's see. No. So what is everyone having for dinner? Like that. So what are you guys having for dinner, for lunch, for breakfast, wherever you are? I had a bit of bagli. It was very nice. You have cheated? What have you cheated?
Confessions.
Nice. Nomi, we had a good idea earlier. You were not here yet, but instead of collecting channel point doggos, we could collect channel Pörkölt. So we could use that. If you ever happen to draw Pörkölt, the channel points could become Pörkölt. And then you would need 75k Pörkölt to get a Kürtös stream from me. So what do you think? I think that's a great idea. I really like it. Also, let's look at, we have 56% raised, 42k out of 75. Yeah, I think, yeah, I expected you to love it. So if you are ever ready with that, I'm not sure the channel points will become Kürtös kalács. They could. I don't know. If Nomi also wants to draw some Kürtös kalács. I think Pörkölt has a bigger cult than Kürtös kalács. So, all right. It's almost boiling. Almost boiling. Chimney cake. Chimney cake is amazing. If somebody doesn't know what Kürtös kalács is, please Google chimney cake. And I'm sure you will want to come back for the stream too. Thank you, Audrey. Thank you. Yeah, pickles would be nice, but Do you want like a stream of just showing the outside of my of our apartment for a whole week, 24/7, just watching how the pickles are standing and just there, not moving, nothing happening. Sometimes I look at it. Is this a stream you would be interested in? Yeah, it's there are streams where you can just watch ducks hang around in the zoo, you know? So that's also a thing. I know some people like it.
The new phone.
What? What do you say?
It's my new phone.
Yeah, Lars got a new phone and he's obsessed. It's the only thing he thinks about.
No, that's not true. I only think about you.
Good. 24/7 pickle stream. Who wants to make that happen? We do need good weather for that, so we can only do that in July. If we get a week of like 40 degrees. It's almost boiling. I can hear it almost boil. Maybe I should cut this out from the YouTube video. The time where we spend 10 minutes waiting for the water to boil. So, okay. I'll definitely show you how to make it with this, and I'm gonna try to attempt to use that thing because last time I used it, it went into a disaster. Uh, Maybe this time it will be better because I made a different dough. Coffee is good. What kind of drop did you put in it?
Do you want to guess?
Raspberry?
Yes.
Yes. I like me some raspberry flavored coffee. I'm gonna close this because the whole
Oh yeah.
kitchen smells like flavor
Yeah.
drops.
I was putting in.
So, and look, Audrey, Marian, if you're still here, I'm still using this mug I got from Audrey for my birthday. When was it, like 20 years ago?
Where's the best one?
Definitely you. Where did you get that from?
For my wife?
True that.
Hmm.
True that. Okay. All right. Almost boiling. I almost see some boils there. Exciting, exciting. Okay. Everything smells very good here. Yeah, Audrey, it's so hard to believe that we know each other since 98. That's a long time. Oh my god, that's 22 years. That's crazy. He did know me. He did know me. Okay, I see bubbles. I see bubbles. I see bubbles. Nice. So, ooh. Okay. So, well, I don't know how much you can still see because of the bubbles. I'm gonna put this a bit lower now. Yeah, that's definitely not what I intended, but that's how much heat is happening here. I'm gonna open this. So, one thing you can do, if you have a bit of dough, especially if you do it by hand, you put your dough here, and you start cutting small pieces. Definitely do this when your dough is a bit more thicker, more thick. But that's all you basically have to do. Then the size is gonna be a bit bigger, but you can do this. I'm gonna attempt to use this thing my mom bought me. So I know I should water this a little bit to make it wet, and adjust it to the size of this. Wait. About this seems good. You put the dough on top. Yeah, you can also do it with a spoon. You can do it a lot of different ways. And you just wait for the thing to fall through, depending on the size you want. This is definitely makes smaller droplets. Some people have things that just moves on top. I just do it with this now. Yeah, with Avi you were right. And how is your Pörkölt, Rita? Such Nokedli szaggató action. Yes. But they are all going to the bottom, and when they are getting to be cooked, they go on top. This is not a lot of Nokedli, so I'm just gonna do all in one go. You can close the window soon, hon, because it's getting more cold. Igen, jó ötlet. You mix it because your sister said so, and she is very right about that. To make sure you don't end up with a goop. And just the rest of the dough. There's not much here left. Wait. I have a spatula. It's perfect to get the last minute things out. Scrape out every important piece of the dough. Okay, just come on. Yeah, now that I made the good consistency of the dough, it's actually very much easier to do it with this. Okay, so that's good. And what I usually do, I let this boil once more. Yes, I have to do what my sister says because she's a better cook than I am, which is a fact. Okay. A nővérem sokkal jobb szakács, mint én. Úgyhogy érdemes úgy tenni, ahogy ő szokott. little bit more dough here. Just drop you in there. Scrape it off. I will definitely make some pictures and put it on my Instagram. So I'm only doing this now, so the dough doesn't cook into one big blob. So keep mixing it. That should be okay. There's a piece of dough here. And I will wait till this boils to make sure it's cooked. I also like it a bit crunchier. Okay, Rita. So when that boils, I'm gonna take them out. In the meantime, I'm gonna take the lid off of the Pörkölt. I also have to check how much the Pörkölt is cooked. Because I don't trust myself, I'm gonna cut into one of the meat to see how well is it cooked. I took halfly the lid off now. You can see it boiling. So let's they are very small, they do cook very fast, so you just use this. I could have definitely used a smaller pot. I do realize that. Oh well. Turn the heat off. Yeah, if you got a lot more dough, then do it in sections. You do one portion and then you another portion. Because eventually you will run out of space in here. Is there something stuck to the bottom? Doesn't seem like it. Évi, ti mit tesztek ebédre? Every little bit counts. I'm not leaving anything in there. Is there any stuff to the bottom? Doesn't seem like it. Alright. I will load the dishwasher fast. So nothing really sticks down here. Because I really do not want that. Ah, okay. Yeah, I remember you said the fruit soup. Okay. Do this. I didn't use the scraper thing. I'll need that. And run a quick rinse. Come on. You can close. So, rinse the water. So all the noise from the sink, I'm sorry. This is our finished product. I think it looks good. Let me try it. So, smells like Nokedli. That's a good start, right? Smells like Nokedli. Mmm, very good. Mmm, it's good. I'm gonna put the lid on. Just wanna put the lid on.
I hear some noises.
Because it's yummy. So I'm gonna look at the meat now to see how well it is cooked. So, what do you think?
That looks yummy.
Yes, that looks yummy. I agree. You can watch this later.
Okay.
Okay, I need, can you give me a plate, please? My trusty Rammstein kitchen towel. Let me show you. Mine towel. Just gonna clean the surface a bit because it's messy. The trash is full, so I didn't put this in there.
Alright.
This anymore. Okay, so I'm gonna take a meat out. Yeah, minute open and it gets super cold in here. We don't have heating in the kitchen because when I cook it always gets so warm. Okay, so let me adjust this back. So I'm gonna take a meat out, cut it open to see how it's cooked, because we definitely don't want some uncooked meat. It is easier if you make it with the cubicles because then you know it's cooked. If you can get it through. But I think this is definitely not cooked. Let me check this guy. Okay, this looks cooked. Yeah, maybe a couple more minutes. Gonna take one of the thighs out to see how is that doing. Yeah, it is a bit liquidy for what it should be, but I think that's okay. Let you come with me. Yes, I know. Yeah, it is very watery inside. I think that needs a bit more. So I think still another like 10 to 15 minutes. I'm gonna turn them around. So the meaty part is in the liquid, so that's not common. Seriously? Just turn around. So the meaty part is more in the liquid. And I'm gonna let this cook for another 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, that's what you get when you don't cook with filet meat. It takes a bit of extra time because the layers are a bit thicker. In the meantime, I think I can make the table and you can deal with the trash. This is empty. So if you have any questions or anything, we can do a Q&A because we're still gonna be here for 10 to 15 minutes till this is cooked. And then I'm going to plate it. We can take pictures together because Instagramming is important. so Nomi can make a beautiful Pörkölt emote for us.
Are these things all dishwasher safe like this?
No, and I would wash this by hand too because of the stick, because these are stuck to it.
Yeah.
This can go in the dishwasher. I'm just doing a quick rinse so nothing sticks to anything, but then we can continue.
Alright.
So just if you wash this and scrape the dough over that. That's why I have a beautiful husband. He does.
But this goes in the dishwasher?
No, that doesn't go into the dishwasher.
Okay.
That's the only one that doesn't go into the dishwasher. Okay. So I'm gonna make the table. So this is where we usually eat, as you can see. It's a bit messy. For some extra geeky stuff, we have these reusable straws, and I use this TARDIS cup. Mostly because for whatever reason, this thing has a hole in the top, in the bottom. So when you wash it, water gets in here, and it's stored in the bottom of this. So whenever you lift it up, water comes out from the bottom too. It's ridiculous. So I just use it as this. I'm gonna put my rings back on because I did forget to put them back on. And I'm gonna put down 2 plates. I thought I would need my iPad. I did not. Lars is the one who usually sits here, and I'm sitting here. This is our plate. That was Kulturmus sign. There must be some culture. This is also from Rammstein, because I'm a huge fan. Lars eats with the opposite hands, so he likes to have his fork on the right and his knife on the left. And I already have these here for myself. Jó étvágyat, Rita! Enjoy! Az enyém is sokszor szaftos, de hogyha úgy rakod el, hogy rizssel vagy nokedlivel, akkor az felszívja másnapra, vagy tarhonyával. So if you have too much sauce for your Pörkölt, because you forgot to take the lid off at the end, you can, when you pack it for later, you can mix it already with the rice or the tarhonya, which is like small pieces of pasta, or the nokedli. It will soak up the extra sauce, and by the next day it's gonna be perfect. Yeah, what is too much sauce? That depends on the person. It's hard to tell. It's cooking now. It smells amazing. I have to say, it smells amazing. Maybe you have to leave it in a bit of water so it will be easier to get off. Poor Lars is cleaning the nokedli szaggató. Yeah, I think when the sauce becomes like too liquidy, that's why what my problem is. Or if you have like when you plate it and you still end up with a lot of leftover sauce, you can use some bread and just clean the bowl with it. That is also very nice. Okay, so cute. Yeah, or what Rita says, if you make that into a paprikash or a hortobágyi palacsinta filling, hortobágyi pancake, you can thicken that with sour cream and maybe a bit of starch or flour. I usually only add sour cream because I'm lazy. and it will get thicker. And you boil it once again, it will get better. But I know not a lot of people like to eat paprikash. I understand that. So so yeah, that's the same thing, Aggie. That's the same thing. So he's working for his lunch now, cleaning everything. Make sure I don't need this anymore. Can hang this back up. Nice and clean.
Yeah, but that brush is actually good.
Yeah, I should replace our brushes. We have them for a bit long time. Although maybe the middle one is the one I use most. This one is quite clean.
This one doesn't get used much. It still looks.
Sorry?
It still looks rather new.
Yeah, the middle one the one I use the most. $10 of stuffed cabbage. Oh my god, that sounds a lot, Rita.
That sounds like a portion I would make.
Yeah, that's the portion he makes. Like, I'm like, please don't cook something that we have to eat for 5 days. And then he cooks the whole box of pasta and upscales the sauce with it instead of downscaling to how much we would eat for one dinner. And then we eat the same thing for 5 days in a row. Yeah, we have issues with measuring how much we want to eat. I'm also hoping I want to make this a one portion. So usually when I calculate with how much I eat, I would say 250 grams of meat or mushroom for myself. This is about half a kilo, but it has bones in it, so it's a bit less. So we were like, yeah, each of us can eat one drumstick. So let's just buy a whole. I will just, if he wants, I will fillet it. Um, and yeah, the nokedli also doesn't look like a much of a. I think we might have a bit of leftover of the nokedli that we can just package with the sauce.
It looks like
Yeah, my sister said 2 eggs for 2 person for one lunch is actually good. Yeah, middle one. Yeah, it worked very well now that I made the dough a bit more liquidy. So of course, again, my sister was right. She gave me that tip. Yeah. Our freezer is also not too big, so that's also a bit of an issue for us, especially if we cook this big. What we usually have there is Easter ham, which I just cooked a couple of days ago with. Then we don't put Pörkölt really away. We do stuffed paprika, so that usually. Look at you. You have a face. I had so many technical issues with the stream this morning, so I had to put the laptop here because Apple Cam has so much delay. Like this camera was 10 seconds earlier than the other one. With the Wi-Fi, then it was just I had to decrease the quality to 720, and now it seems decent. Okay, the rinse has finished. So I'm so lucky we have a dishwasher that we. Before you moved in here, we were like, we don't need a dishwasher. I remember before we moved in here, we were like, we don't need a dishwasher. We can do everything by hand. And you bought this house and it had a dishwasher in it.
I was like, okay, we're not ever washing things by hand anymore.
Yeah, and now we are loving it. So I'm happy. The coffee is also good.
Oh, you made it. I just poured it out.
True. True, I made the coffee. Is anybody else like to make cold brew coffee at home? Yeah, and when you cook in big portions, dishwasher is also so good. Okay, what time is it? Okay, not bad. About 1.5 hour of cooking, mostly waiting. So yeah, we also used to drink kotyogosh. Where is it? I don't know where did Lars put it. Uh, ah, it's up there. I'm gonna show it to you. I got this from my mom. We have actually two of those. This is my kotyogosh. It's, I think, from the Soviet times. Basically, it's a very old one. I like it. Lars doesn't like it very much because he feels like that the coffee tastes a bit burnt. I think he's just not patient enough.
No.
Because he wants his coffee fast. So he puts the heat too high and then it burns the coffee a bit. But yeah, I noticed that I had a couple of stomach problems, stomach ache, when I drank coffee. So I started making cold brew. Because when you use hot water, basically all the acid comes out of the bean. Maybe Agi knows more about this, and that's the part that burns my stomach. So I use cold water. I use about 100 grams of coarsely grinded bean. Uh, you have to make sure it's not finely grounded, otherwise it's gonna be a pain in the ass to filter. I use one of these, and this is not good with finely ground coffee. So I use coarse, which is the highest setting on the coffee grinder. 100 grams of bean and about 700 grams of water. You can do more or less, and I leave it in the fridge for 24 hours, not longer, because then it will start to get rotten. And then I just filter it and I drink the coffee. And the best part of it is that you drink the same tasting coffee for like 10 days. It's not that one day it's a bit different than the other one. Yeah. And what Lars likes the most. Okay, my laptop is just keeps disconnecting from my microphone. I hope the audio is back on. But he uses the old school method, which is this with a filter. And he drinks about 2 or 3 coffee a day, which is a lot. Especially now that he's at home, he goes through a bag of coffee so fast. While for me, I do 100 grams a week, sometimes less because I don't drink everyday coffee. And I like cold coffee to taste better. Like even if I make coffee, I wait till it goes like lukewarm, almost cold before I drink it. So, what is a V60? The headphones? This is a Bose QC35 2. The Quiet Comfort. The what's it called? With the active noise cancelling. And the only device it has issues with is my work laptop. That's the only thing. Oh, the torture thing. Uh, you mean this? This is a Cilio. It's just a ceramic filter, and he just puts this thing in. So he uses a coffee filter, puts the coffee in, and pours over hot water twice. And he has a can at the bottom, and the coffee goes into this. So it's nothing really special. You could even do this with a cup if you have a smaller one. It usually does a big cup. I don't think that has a brand. Okay, I think the purple should be good now. I have the feeling it was another 15 minutes. Ooh, it smells very nice. So let me check. Yeah, now the bone comes very nicely apart from the meat. That's good. And let's see this guy. We haven't cut into this guy yet. Yeah, this is very nicely cooked. Yeah, you want to make sure you cook your chicken and whatever other meat you do, so you don't get salmonella or other disease. I think our cooking is done. Okay. So now all we have to do is beautifully plate this so it's Instagram worthy. I will clean this plate a little bit because this doesn't look Instagram worthy right now. Don't even need this other one. So Nomi can create a beautiful picture for us. This is so exciting. So, is this still here? I need more space in the kitchen. That's my biggest issue. Okay. So I'm gonna take our Nokedli and make a nice portion at the bottom. Enough so Lars will not starve. Because nobody wants a starving husband, right? And I will put the other one also. About a plate full. We'll see how much leftover we'll have. And that's good. Then I'm going to take the meat out. OMG, Nokedli and Pörkölt done, indeed. So we're gonna have a thigh. And a drumstick each. I'm gonna put the uglier one on this. And the one I didn't really cut in. Well, I think I cut in both. Whatever. Yeah, they are both cut in. They are not Instagram worthy. say in the middle like that. And I'm gonna use this to hide. Well, not really hiding it, whatever. And I'm gonna get something to get the sauce out. Yeah, so this is definitely a bit too much sauce and a bit too liquidy. Usually you don't want this to be this liquidy, but yeah. Nobody's perfect, right? And get all the onions up here. Get everything soaked. It smells amazing. That's one thing. Two. It's good. And that's one. Oh, good there. Get enough sauce so the nokedli gets soaked in your sauce. Because that's why the nokedli is there. Okay, so that's it. That's it. Let's hope I don't drop the camera. Look at that. There's a beautiful onion, the two meats, and the nokedli in the sauce. I think it looks very good. It smells very good. And we're gonna eat it for dinner. For lunch. It's lunch here. It's almost 1 o'clock here. Let's see. I can mount this.